Hello, welcome to the Black Ponder. I'm Neil Trotter. Today, we're going to decide the winner of my giveaway. And just a reminder, what I'm actually giving away is Henry David Thoreau's Walden and Civil Disobedience. It's a collection. So let's get right to it. Let's determine the winner. At first I was thinking about going to a website that has a random number generator and do it that way. But you know what? Let's do it old school. Let's pull a name out of a hat. Or in this case, an empty tissue box. So here are the names. Right here. Man, just rolled them up in little slits of paper. Drop them in there. Shake it up. And now randomly decide who's it gonna be. I'm just shaking them. Okay, I got one. Let's open it. I rolled it up tight. Oh, okay. So we have Temujin Khan. I hope I'm pronouncing the name correctly. So congratulations, Temujin Khan. Just message me your address, and if you're below age 18, get your parents' permission, and I will send you Walden and Civil Disobedience. Thanks for everybody who entered. It was pretty cool. And for those that didn't win, it's all good because that book is so old. Both of them, Walden and Civil Disobedience, they're part of public domain now, so they're free. You can just read them online. There's a lot of websites that have the text online for free that you can read if you really want to read them and you don't have a text on you. You also can go to a library. I mean, it's very common to have that book in a library, especially Civil Disobedience. That's probably Henry David Thoreau's most popular work. But it's nothing like having a hard copy, right? So I really do hope you enjoy it, Temujin Khan. I mean, for me personally, those two books, they changed my life. They really did. They definitely inspired me to be a better person. I mean, to me, those two texts are very powerful. The biggest thing that they did for me was, I was one of those people who believed that philosophy was just a set of abstract ideas that really didn't apply to real life. They were just things that really intellectual people talked about just to make themselves feel better about themselves, kind of prove their intelligence and their intellect. But I was wrong about that. I really was. And Henry David Thoreau really showed me that philosophy can be applied to real life. That you can use philosophy to make life better, to create and conduct social action, to change the world, to address negative aspects of society. So I really hope you enjoy those two texts. And I know everybody's not into Walden or Civil Disobedience for that matter. And that's fine too, if you're not into it, it's all good. But for me personally, those texts really got to me. The other thing I wanted to do is just give you some updates. What am I doing with the channel? One of the channels I'm subscribed to, it's called Library Fan Mail. It's this Canadian lady that primarily talks about books, but she talks about other things too. One of her videos recently she talked about was the closed captioning feature on YouTube, which I really didn't pay much attention to. I knew it existed, but I really didn't pay much attention to it. She talked about the importance of the closed captioning feature and how it really means a lot for people who are hearing impaired. And she's making a commitment to feature complete closed captioning on all of her videos. And I thought, yeah. I think I'll make that commitment too. I often put myself in other people's shoes. And I can only imagine if I was hearing impaired, if I had a hard time hearing, how YouTube wouldn't really be much of a thing for me because, most YouTube videos do not have any type of subtitles. I could just imagine me being into philosophy and trying to find other people who are also into philosophy. I wouldn't be able to use YouTube to make that connection, right? And I've met a lot of people who are interested in philosophy through YouTube. And if I was hearing impaired, I wouldn't have been able to make those kinds of connections. So I'm gonna go ahead and add closed captioning to all my videos. Now I will say that adding closed captioning, it is very time consuming. It really is. So don't feel bad. Like if you don't have the time to do it, because it already takes so much time to just make a video, just alone, to record it, edit it, render it, and all that. It takes a long time to do that. And then now on top of that, closed captioning, that's another hour or 2 or 3, depending how long the video is. So I would ask you to consider featuring closed captioning on your videos. But if you don't have the time, don't feel too bad. Fortunately, YouTube has this feature where it tries to automatically create subtitles for you. But often the capturing feature that it has isn't that accurate. Like, it captures about 50% of the words accurately, but then you have to go in and edit it and make it right. But thank goodness it does that at least. I mean, that's a huge help. Like, it sets it up where the times are separated and you could go in there and edit what's already been done. I mean, that's a huge time saver right there. If YouTube didn't have that capability, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. I mean, to just start completely from scratch, that would just take way too long, unfortunately. Hopefully, as technology keeps advancing, right, the computer programs, the computer algorithms that capture speech automatically will be better at doing that, and you'll have to do less editing, right? It also depends as well on your pronunciation, how well you pronunciate words. Right, and admittedly, I'm not the best person in pronunciation. That's part of it right there. But I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make that commitment. It's gonna be slow going though, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna kill myself over it. So it's gonna take a while. But I'm gonna do that because one of the major themes of the Black Ponder in this channel is equality and equal opportunity, equal access. Right? That's a very important thing for me. And if I can make these videos more accessible to people, then hey, let's do it. I've gotten several messages where people have told me, I use your videos to help me out in the classroom. I'm writing an essay on this book and your videos helped me out. Or we had this teacher, instructor that showed one of your videos in the classroom, that's crazy. That's great. And I can only imagine if a teacher does that, or somebody's trying to use one of my videos to help them with some sort of schoolwork or some sort of, if they're trying to understand the text more, but they're hearing impaired, like my video really isn't going to help. So I definitely want to feature that. And also the other thing is, even if you're not hearing impaired, I think closed captioning helps a lot because I use a lot of quotes from the book, and it might be better to process those quotes with subtitles on the bottom as well. So I think that's my style of doing videos where I use a lot of quotes. Closed captioning actually complements that as well. So hearing impaired or not, I think closed captioning will ultimately make my videos better. The other thing I wanted to say is kind of the schedule, the timing of my videos. The original goal when I started the channel was like, okay, I'm gonna try and shoot for one video per week. That's what I'm gonna do. Oftentimes that doesn't happen. To be quite honest, I'm not like an overly busy person or anything like that. I mean, I do have a full-time job and things like that, but I do have a lot of free time, to be honest with you. The thing is though, I don't just read philosophy books. Like, I read all types of books, and I do also all types of different things. I have several hobbies, right? For example, another type of book I really like are biographies. Like, I really love reading biographies, memoirs, autobiographies, and just historical biographies. I mean, right now, I'm reading this really cool book that just came out. Biography about Napoleon. Just came out recently, a few months ago, I think. And it's a great book, if you want to really know about Napoleon, right? Because there's a lot of myths and legends about Napoleon. Some of it's true, a lot of it's not. You want to really know the historic importance of the guy. I mean, this is a great read. But, does this really have a lot of philosophy in it? Would I feature this on my channel? No. So sometimes there's like gaps, 2-3 week gaps between my videos. Sometimes it's even a month. And that's really ultimately because I'm just reading other books that have very little philosophy in them. Or I might be reading a philosophy book that takes a long time. Like, it's 700, 800, 900 pages, right? It's going to take a while. It might take me 3 weeks to a month to read and really process the information. I'm not going to rush myself. I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to kill myself over the time commitment. So that's why you might see gaps in between my video. I'll try. The goal always is to once a week do something, but that might not be the case. I also have this blog, right? So the idea was my thinking was, okay, I'm probably not going to be able to put out a video every week. So maybe people can go to the blog to fill in some gaps. Maybe I can write up something, which is quicker for me to do. And people can go there instead to get the Black Ponder experience on the weeks that I don't have videos. but I actually don't really update the blog that much. I gotta get on that a little bit more. And there's no reason, I'm just kind of, I mean, to be quite honest, I just don't feel like it sometimes. But if you haven't checked the blog and you're like a large gap in between videos, check out the blog. You might find something you enjoy there. Links are always in the text description and at the end of my videos. You know, I also read all types of other stuff, you know, not just really big bulky books. I read all types of stuff. I read comic books, you know, I'm really into that. I mean, I'm like a diehard X-Men fan, I'll be honest with you. I read X-Men. I'm into the old school X-Men, you know, stuff from the 90s and back. Not really a fan of this new X-Men, I'll be quite honest with you. And I read all types of other comic books. I mean, you know, I just do different things. You know, another hobby that I'm in is I play a lot of video games. You know, like I said, I have a lot of free time. And that's the way I like to live. Currently playing this game. It's like Japanese role-playing video game. I'm really into those. I like those a lot. But yeah, I'm into all types of video games. So basically what I'm saying is that I'm into a lot of different things. So when you see gaps in between videos that are over a week long, it's really because of that. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that I'm like super busy or anything like that, because I'm not. However, the next video I'm gonna do on the Black Ponder is on this book. It's called This Changes Everything. It's a big book, huh? This is a book on climate change, and it's probably the best book ever written on climate change or global warming. It's by Naomi Klein, and the reason why it's so good is that it frames the climate change problem philosophically. It presents it as a philosophical dilemma. The author presents why we're not addressing climate change as an existential crisis. And when I say existential crisis, I mean that in a philosophical way. It's a dilemma of human existence that we have to come to terms with and deal with and address. And she's very realistic about it. She's very practical about it, very forward. She's not beating around the bush about it. It's one of the best books I've read in a long time, I'll be quite honest with you. It's one of those books I would recommend to anybody. And we're gonna talk about that. That's the next video. But of course, we're also gonna be talking about classics, philosophical classics. That's a staple here in the Black Ponder. So after that video, we're gonna do another video about probably one of the most popular philosophical texts ever written, which is Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche. Definitely the most requested text by far for my channel. And I really like reading Friedrich Nietzsche, I really do. I mean, I might not agree with everything he says, but the man makes you think. He forces you to use your head. He forces you to question things that you really don't want to question, right? Which, that's important. Like, that's important. The way he forces you to really think and deal with things that you kind of assume to be true that might not necessarily be true. Nietzsche really has you thinking about, okay, you have this belief system. Why is it really that you believe in what you believe in? And then when you answer that question, Nietzsche again poses, okay, that answer, is that an adequate, satisfactory answer? And you really have to sit down and think like, the reason why I believe in what I believe in, is that reason really good enough? Does that reason really make sense? Is that reason really adequate or worthy? Nietzsche really pushes you, and I like that. I like being pushed, and I like to be challenged. So those are the two videos that I plan to do in the future. We're gonna do those and other great works, so stick around. This is the Black Ponder. Thank you for watching. I'm Neil Trotter.